Guys, welcome back to another video here from the Off-Grid Garage in Winter, Australia. We've got like 8 degrees outside. It is a late night show, as you have seen, but this will not hinder us to have a look at what I have here in these 2 boxes on the workbench. Something incredible has arrived a long time ago, and tonight we want to test this device here on our Frankenstein battery, because this battery needs it. It needs it. This is actually something many people said I would need for the Frankenstein battery, because we are using 5 different sort of batteries in here, different capacities, different manufacturers, different ages. It is a real Frankenstein battery, Frankenstein together from all bits and pieces I had still in the garage here. All right, without further ado, let's have a look what is in these boxes. So I already had a look in these 2 boxes here. One is containing the device we want to test tonight, and the other one is containing the accessories. Let's have a look at the device first. Yes, my friends, this is the newest edition of the Knee Active Balancer. And it is a bit hard to read. Ah, here you can read it now. So, it is a smart active balancer from our favorite and most loved knee technology company. It is the model EK24S15EB. The balance current goes from 1 to 15 amps. Yes, guys, this is a knee 15 amp active balancer. Smart active balancer. The accuracy is, like in all other knee active balancers, 1 millivolt deviation. It is suitable for batteries from 2S to 24S, and it can handle all kind of batteries, lithium ion phosphate, and also LTO batteries. The power supply for this device is 12 to 150 volt DC. And look at the size of this beast. The balancer weighs around 2.5 kilos. And here on the front we've got the connection ports for the balance leads, the power in 12 to 150 volts, and then B0 all the way to B24 with 3 different adapters. All these adapters and cables are in the second box here. And I have already prepared the cables, so we can start straight away. Here, look at this. This is how long these cables are. They are over a meter. So, Stück. They are 1 meter long. 1 meter long balance cables here. And here on this side, all these balance cables, they come with crocodile clamps, and they are also labeled, so we know which clamp goes onto which battery. This is the B negative, battery number 4, battery number 23. Well, this end is already pre-configured with the labels and the crocodile clamps. You need to connect all the cable ends here to the plugs. And what I have actually done, this is our power supply cable. I have used number 23 and 24 here as my main positive and negative to supply power to the knee active balancer, because I don't have any other batteries than 16S anywhere. This is the maximum I have here in the Off-Grid Garage. So I don't need all these balance cables. And the Hanksaw store, the good old Hanksaw store from AliExpress, has sent over this knee active balancer here quite a while back. So thank you very much to Nami from the Hanksaw store for letting us test the knee active balancer tonight. And I want to show you something else here. Oh yeah, here. So if you have set the password in the Knee app and have forgotten about it, you can reset the password here with this little button. That is pretty cool, right? And also on this side here, it has a TTL connector. I think we can either extract data from this device and use it with the computer software, or this port is purely for firmware updates. And both would be very amazing, actually. Maybe we can control this active balancer now via computer software. There are also a lot of screws here, which we need to open at some stage and have a look. But first of all, we want to connect this knee active balancer here and see what it does. And by the way, it is actually a smart active balancer. It uses the same Bluetooth app as the smaller sister Knee Active Balancer, but this one here is really smart. We hear this word smart all the time, and usually it's related to the device having a Bluetooth connection and can talk to an app on your mobile phone. But this one here has actually a sophisticated algorithm inside, which does something very clever with your batteries. Let me explain. So the balancer has a 3-step cycle. Step 1, measuring the voltage of all your cells and determine the highest and lowest voltage cell. Step 2, discharge the highest voltage cell and store the energy in supercaps inside the balancer. Step 3, use this energy and charge the cell with the lowest voltage. And then it starts with step 1 again. And it does this energy transfer by using a formula, which is the current divided by 60. And this gives us the capacity which it actually shifts. So in this case, it is 15 amps divided by 60, which is 0.25 ampere hours. So with every cycle the balancer does, it is shifting a quarter of an ampere hour. So 4 cycles later, 1 ampere hour being taken from one cell to another one. That is impressive. But here comes the problem with that. Okay, as an example, we have a row of 4, 8, 16 batteries, doesn't matter. One of your cell has the highest voltage, the other one has the lowest voltage. So energy is being taken from this cell into the supercaps and from here into this cell. Yeah, there's nothing new. This is what the smaller knee does as well. And we know it is shifting 0.25 ampere hours. What if the difference is only 0.1 ampere hour between these two, right? So this one has a higher voltage than this one, so it would trigger this cycle. It would shift 0.25 ampere hours into the supercaps and into this cell. Then in the next cycle, the balancer measures again, and it finds that this cell is now the highest and this one is the lowest. It would again take 0.25 ampere hours away from here into the supercaps and in this cell. Yeah, can you see what happens? You are in a deadlock and you are constantly shifting between these two battery cells. Because the balance current is so high with 15 amps, it cannot really regulate or fine-tune your cells then if the capacity difference or the voltage difference is too small. So, and here comes the smart part of this whole thing. The Knee Active Balancer actually recognizes that and said, hang on, this cell was my lowest but is now my highest, while this one was my highest and is now my lowest. There's something wrong. I'm transferring too much energy. And then in the next cycle, it will halve the balance current automatically. So going down from 15 amps to only 7.5 amps. And then it tries again. So it does another cycle, shifts energy from here into the supercaps into this battery with 7.5 amps only. And then it waits for 3 minutes. So the voltages can actually settle down, and then it measures again. If for some reason the ampere hour difference is still very small, and this one is our highest again, and this one is again the lowest, well, it does it again. 7.5 by 2, which is 3.75. It is only balancing with 3.75 amps in the next cycle. So taking only, so that would mean it takes only 0.08 ampere hours. Is that correct? I'll put it here on the screen. So in this case, it would shift only 80 milliampere hours. Yeah, 0.08 from this battery to this battery. And then it waits again for 3 minutes, measures the voltages again, and does it again. If it's still too high, it halves the balance current, goes down, 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 until it actually can fine-tune it. Because at the end of this whole process, if you have 16 batteries connected, the capacity of each of the batteries will be very similar to the next one. And the energy shift with 15 amps could be far too much. Well, and this is exactly where the intelligence or the smart feature kicks in with this Knee Active Balancer. And this is something the smaller Knee Balancer doesn't have. It balances with 4 amps all the time, while this one here has a bit of a logic included. That is pretty cool, actually. Especially considering many people will use this balancer for maintaining e-bike or e-scooter batteries, yeah, 72 volts, and they may have only like 7, 8 or 10 ampere hours. And then when you balance with 15 amps, you will get into exactly these situations. It may not occur so much with these very large capacity cells here, but I could imagine even with a 100 ampere hour battery, like 48 volt, 100 ampere hour battery, 15 amp could be a lot if the pack is already pretty balanced. But here with this one, you don't need to worry about it. It does it automatically. It shifts down a gear, it slows down, it manages the balance current automatically. That is unseen. Great. All right, let's put the balancer here next to our Frankenstein battery. And then we are going to connect the power supply cable. So we're going to connect this to our battery negative, and we connect this to our positive of the battery. Let's see if we get a spark here a bit. I don't know. Might be. No spark at all. Alrighty. It's connected with a crocodile clamp. Oh, it beeps. It's already on. I haven't connected any of the balance cables at all, just the power supply, because I want to have a look at the app first. Okay, so we can now see the LEDs are lighting up here. We've got a green light on the right for the power supply, a blue flashing light, so it's ready to receive or to connect to a Bluetooth, and the alarm or arrow light on the left, which indicates, well, there's something wrong with our battery connection, which is absolutely correct. Okay, let's start the Knee app. This looks a bit different. This is a new Knee app. You can use this one here also for the old version of the Knee, or for the smaller version of the Knee active balancer. And here at the top, we've got the EK24S15EB. We click on Connect, and we can now also see the blue LED is now solid. And the interface got a bit of a revamp here. The icons have changed a bit, and they're using a bit more of color. We've got 8 batteries down here at the moment. Let's have a look in the settings. Yeah, here at the top you can see the quantity is 8. We've got a start-up differential voltage of 10 millivolt. This is our deviation you can set. The maximum balance current is 15 amps. I cannot believe it. Look at this. 15 amps. That is insane. We can set a stop voltage when the balancer stops balancing. And we've got a run voltage when the balancer starts balancing. So 3.45 and 3.4. Hey, they must know me very well here. This is the default setting for this BMS. Wow. State of charge, we can change. You wonder why it needs the state of charge? Well, this is for the smart algorithm inside the Knee active balancer. So the battery type is LFP, and the buzzer is once. And let's have a look under alarms. Yeah, it cannot reach any of our 8 batteries, unfortunately, at the moment. So this is all not working because nothing is connected at the moment. And here in the main dashboard, we've got the runtime in the top left-hand corner. Then we can turn on and off the balancer manually. It is connected at the moment via Bluetooth. The balance current is 0 amps. And the state gives us an indication of what is going on at the moment. So the quantity, different settings means, well, it cannot measure any of these 8 batteries, so something is not right. Then here in the middle section, the main dashboard, it gives us the overall pack voltage, the maximum voltage and the minimum voltage of our pack, an average voltage, a different voltage, and the system temperature of the active balancer. And as always, in the bottom part, we can see all the 8 single battery cells. All right, let's go into settings and modify this a bit. So what I want to do is I want to start with 2. Yeah, it beeps like the old one. Nice. I always say old one. I don't mean old one. I say the other one, the smaller one, the little sister. 10 millivolt. Of course, we want to balance this one down to 1 millivolt. Setting. Beep. Maximum current 15 amps, 100%, 3.4, 3.45. Here, I'll leave this as well. And our capacity is 280 ampere hours. And these are pretty much all the settings you need for the knee active balancer, regardless if it's the large one like here or the smaller one like we have used with 4 amps before. All right. Okay, so I have the first plug here, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it gives us the first 8 batteries here on this port. And we plug this into the knee active balancer here. And of course, our first one here, the first, that's better. So our first cable here, of course, if you follow this one through, should be B negative. So this is our main negative of the battery over here. And then we have our first balance cable, which should be B1 plus, is our battery number 1 positive. So counting starts from the negative. So this is our main negative here, and this is our battery number 1 positive over here. So we connect this one. Just careful. Okay, and then the next one is our battery number 2, which should be B2 plus. Battery number 1, battery number 2 positive. It is this one over here. Alrighty. And we can see if I disconnect battery number 2 again, we will have an alarm here because we told the BMS we've got a 2S battery, but we have only 1 battery connected at the moment, 1 cell. And as soon as I connect the second one, you can see the arrow light. Bang. Off. And I can already hear something, little humming sound. So what do we have? We can see both batteries, number 1 and number 2. Well, both batteries have the same voltage here, right? I've got my set of light bulbs here again. So at the moment we are only working with these 2 cells here. Cell number 1 is a bit higher, it's 2 millivolt higher. Alright, so if you discharge cell number 2, just by applying these light bulbs to the cell, we are creating an imbalance of 25 millivolt now, 27. But because we are not over 3.4 volts, the balancer won't start, right? So we have to change the settings a bit to make this work. Or we can just maybe turn on the equalization switch up there. Let's see. Can we turn this on? Yes. But it says battery is low. The battery voltage is low and the equalizer has stopped because we are not over 3.4 volts. So let's change the settings here to 3.2. And here we want to see 3.35, for example, yeah? All right, setting. So turn on at 3.35 and turn off at 3.2. Let's have a look. It is already balancing. 15 amps, it says in the app. What do we see here? 14. What? It is balancing with 15 amps. Oh my god, look at the deviation, how quick it goes down. And I mean, both batteries are at 3.3 something volts, so we are absolutely in the flat part of the curve. Did they get warm? What? No. The silicon cable gets a bit warm here. The balance cables are getting warm, guys. That is insane. I really can feel it. I mean, what is that here? This is like 1.5 square millimeter, like this in gauge. Yeah, we can already see here is the yellow light is flashing. That means we are balancing. And when the yellow light is solid, balancer has stopped. So we've got everything balanced then. But I mean, this is insane. 15 amps balance current. They are nice and warm. Okay, let's see when it actually stops here. This is all discharging. Does it charge cell number 2 at the same time, maybe? No, there's nothing in cell number 2 at the moment. And we should see a positive current then. In the moment is negative. It says negative 14.9 amps. And when this goes positive, then we are charging cell number 2. That takes a long time. Here we go, here we go. Now we should see, yes, now it's charging cell number 2 with 15 amps from the balancer. And look how long it maintains these 15 amps here. I really want to have a look inside this box here and see how many super caps they have put in there. Okay, guys, let's connect all the cells here. I would say we change the BMS and we change the balancer to a 16S and see how it copes with all these Frankenstein cells here. Okay, this took me like 2 or 3 minutes or so, and we now have connected all the balance cables from the knee active balancer to our Frankenstein battery. I've got one cable left here. This is cell number 17, because we only have a 16S battery here. Okay, so the balancer is still working on battery number 1 and 2 because it doesn't know we have connected all of them. So we go in here and change this from number 2 to cell number 16 and click on settings. And now we go, oh yeah, we can see all cells now. We've got a deviation of 50 millivolt at the moment. Well, we are at 3.36 volts, so this is fully charged, but resting voltage. You probably can't hear that, but it makes like a high-pitch humming sound. And we can see here in the app, it's actually balancing. So deviation is coming down 48, 49 millivolt. So what I will do is I will increase the overall pack voltage now. Okay, so I am charging the pack now with 10 amps and we are increasing the pack voltage. Oh, I tell you what, the balancer gets quite warm. All right, so let's see how this works. So we have a pack voltage of 54 volts. Increasing. I probably should turn this up to 21 amps. Okay, we are charging with 1 kilowatt into the battery all the way up to 55.2 volts. The temperature inside the knee active balancer is 38.6 degrees. Wow. So we have reached the 55.2 volt in the power supply and the current is tapering off to about 10 amps, 10.5 amps only. So the cells are now absorbing. Okay, my friends, I have just let the battery a bit balance here for probably 10 minutes or so, and deviation has gone down to 18 millivolt only. We are still charging with 1 amp into the whole battery pack here at 55.2 volts. So it is still a bit of absorbing, but it's almost fully balanced now at this point of time. Yeah, 18 millivolt deviation. That is crazy. And nice 41 degrees inside. It is nice and hand warm. Perfect. So, okay, let's increase the voltage here to 56 volts. And we are charging with 13 amps. Deviation is not even increasing. Look at this, 12 millivolt deviation. Oh wow. Okay, let's go higher. So we have reached the 57.6 volts now, and deviation is 43 millivolt. Okay, so and now after a few minutes we are down to 5 millivolt deviation at 3.6 volts. Look at this shit. This was like maybe 15 minutes now since we started from 55.2, and now we are at 3.6 volts and we are fully balanced. Okay, let's go a bit higher here. 58 volts. Wow, look at this. 9 millivolt deviation only. Okay, let's go to 58.4. This should be 3.65 per cell. We've got 5 millivolt deviation only, 5 millivolt. Okay, we are now at 3.651 volts with some of the cells, so 1 millivolt over the specifications. That's fine. But look at this, 5 millivolt deviation. So this whole process took only like maybe 20 minutes now to fully top balance this battery here. As you know, when we have these on the workbench here, this usually takes hours or even overnight. We need to wait a whole night and it's balanced in the morning because it takes so long. And here, 20 minutes, and it's balanced. That is incredible. All right, so what we are going to do now is turn off the power supply. And we want to use our light bulbs here and do some damage of one of the cells, maybe here, maybe cell number 4. And let's watch cell number 4 on the app. Okay, light bulbs are connected. And immediately we can see cell number 4 is our lowest cell. It's turning blue. And look at the deviation. 40 millivolt. This is like a 25 amps now discharge with the light bulbs. Deviation 70 millivolt. We've got 100 millivolt deviation. Okay, I'm taking away the light bulbs. And let's watch the deviation and cell number 4. How long does it take to balance again with 15 amps? So it is now discharging the higher cells, so pretty much all of them, all 15. And once the equalization current turns positive, we should see an increase in voltage of cell number 4. Still discharging and charging our supercap. Still discharging other cells. Negative 15 amps. We have 58 millivolt deviation, so this is going down very slowly at the moment. But once the current turns positive, we should see voltage rising very fast in cell number 4 and deviation going down very quickly. Still discharging. There must be a huge supercapacitor inside this box. Still discharging. That takes over a minute. Okay, now we are positive. We are charging cell number 4. You should see voltage rising very quickly. Look at the deviation. It's dropping down like in 10 millivolt. We are down to 4 millivolt deviation. We are already balanced. This looked like 10 seconds. Oh, wow. That is insane. And now it's still charging cell number 4, now cell number 3. So we already balanced again. It has fixed the damage we have done with our light bulbs within 10 seconds, 12 seconds. We are down to 2 millivolt deviation. We are fully balanced again. Wow, that is incredible. All right, my friends, before we are opening the box and have a look at the supercapacitor inside the Knee Active Balancer, let's have a quick look at the specifications here, which the Henxor store has sent me. So we have the EK24S 15EB. So 24S is for 24S battery, and 15E is for 15 is for 15 amps balancing. And we have seen it balances with 15 amps all the time. It is amazing. It can handle batteries from 2S to 24S, and it also supports cascading connection. You can use 2 of these incredible balancers and balances your pack. Dimensions weigh 2.5 kilos. Yes, it is quite heavy. Reverse connection protection supports disorderly power up direction protection. So even if you connect it the wrong way around, positive and negative, it will forgive you. And you can test this yourself with voltages from 12 to 120 volts DC. It is for all kinds of batteries, lithium ion, NMC, LFP, LTO. It can handle voltages from 1.5 to 4.5 cell voltages, and you can customize this between 1.5 and 4.2 volts. So you can also use this balancer here for sodium ion batteries, which we will test here on the channel. We have balance method. We have seen this. It balances the voltages of the highest and lowest battery cell. You can change the balance current from 1 to 15 amps. So if you have a 16S Palo battery set up, you can change the balance current here to 1 amp. Well, I probably wouldn't use a Knee Active Balancer that size for such a battery. We can balance down to 1 millivolt deviation. And this is interesting. If we power the balancer from the same battery we are actually balancing, we've got a 3 millivolt accuracy. If you use an external power supply for the balancer, it has a 1 millivolt accuracy. I mean, both is fine. 1 or 3 millivolt accuracy, that is very good. And it also forgives you if you have connected the balance leads the wrong way. In the wrong order, it has a miswiring protection. Here more. So it uses 1 watts when the equalization is on, or 0.5 watts with equalization off. And you can use this balancer from -20 to positive 45 degrees, like here in sunny hot Australia, soon again. Here you can see what is in the box. You've got these connectors here separately from the balance leads, and you just need to connect them. And I didn't have actually this adapter here. Ah, this is a power adapter. No, I didn't have a power adapter in the box. I don't think so. I don't think I have one, but that's fine. I'll power it from the battery directly. All right, I have now removed all the screws. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screws in here. Wow. Okay, let's see if we can take this off. Holy crap! Look at these caps. Oh my god. They are huge. That's why it takes so long. It took almost 2 minutes to discharge the batteries until the super caps were full, and then we started the discharge process again. Oh wow! Here it says 35 amps. Is this a fuse maybe? Could be. This is a very nice PCB. There are 2.7 volts and 600 farad. Not micro or milli or micro. No, 600 farad at 2.7 volts. And we have 4 of them. Not too much. Ah, yeah, I was looking for the inductor. Here it is. And this is the whole PWM circuit here. And this circuit is being used to increase the 2.7 volts of the supercaps to a usable voltage of like 3.5 volts or something to charge our batteries. That is a very nice made PCB. The reset button, our Bluetooth module, TTL, this is our power supply. This is a 8-pin port, and we've got 8 of these MOSFETs here. They are still hand warm. Very high quality build here. Incredible. I like it. Okay, I'm sure I have voided warranty now on this balancer here, so let's put it back together. Alright my friends, I think this is the balancer we always wanted, right? 15 amps balance current regardless of the delta of your cells. Always 15 amps. Always. And as you have seen, it gets the job done even with these large capacity cells here. 280, 304 ampere hours. Charging it up to 3.65 volts with 5 millivolt deviation within 20 minutes. Let's say half an hour, including connecting everything, setting up the balancer, half an hour, and you have your battery fully balanced. And I still cannot believe that the balance cables actually get warm. That is... yes, like a boombox. But who is this balancer actually for? Because it is not cheap. Well, some people told me that they have bought several knee active balancers, the smaller ones, the 4 amp ones, the normal ones, the old ones. Because their battery pack is so out of balance, one was not enough to get it under control. Well, I guess the knee active smart balancer now gets it under control very quickly. But I think this balancer is more like people for me who have a lot of batteries to balance, doing a lot of testing or even maintenance, yeah? So if you have a workshop for e-bikes and constantly are working on these e-bike batteries and need to top balance them because they are out of balance, and the little tiny passive balancer inside the e-bike battery doesn't get the job done, well, I guess this is exactly the device you want. So I will certainly use this balancer now here for all my battery builds. And you just connect these balance cables here with the crocodile clamps onto your terminals and you're basically done. And then you charge up your battery and you can see how good this balancer works. And of course, these balancers are also get installed in larger systems. I know one of my viewers who's got a 6P16S battery at home. A 6P, 6 of these 280 ampere hour batteries in parallel. Well, and if you use the Pace BMS with 50 milliamp balance current on a 6P16S battery, no chance. And this is actually a good balancer for such a battery then, because with 15 amps, it gets the job done. Okay guys, I link all the information about this Ni Active Smart Balancer here down under the video. There's also a link on my website to the AliExpress shop of the Hanksource store. Guys, the Ni Active Balancer is back. It is bigger, it is better, it is more expensive though. Hello, this is Andy from the future. I'm just editing this video here and I'm talking about the price. Well, we always have complained about the Chinese quality of these products, you know. These little flimsy, small plastic hooks which break easily off, the overall bad product design and the suboptimal software some of these devices run. Well, here with the Ni Active Balancer now, we have finally a product which is very high quality. You've seen the inside and the outside. The long, super flexible balance cables and the professional connectors are very high quality. We've got very good crocodile clamps and labeling on the end of the balance cables. The connectors can be screwed onto the side of the balancer for fixed installations. The software and the app, they just work. And Ni technology has come a long way. If you may remember version 1 of the Ni Active Balancer we had, which was kind of working, but the software had some issues, and they came up with the version 2, version 3, and finally the version 4 was as we wanted it. It had all the software features we always requested, and it just worked. And now with this larger 15 amp balancer here, they have finally given us a product which is perfect. The software and hardware and the whole balancer works incredibly well. But now we are here and complain about the price. You know, it's too expensive. But if you have a 5 or 6P 16S battery, you spend thousands of dollars for these batteries. I mean, what is another $500–600 on a balancer, which actually works? So I don't want to hear any complaints about the price in the comment section. Higher and better quality has its price. Okay, back to the video. Okay guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your great support here on the channel, for all your generous donations. These wonderful and beautiful people out there. Thank you very much for buying me a beer so I can calibrate more spat. And until the next video guys, when we do the big unveil of this battery just behind you, which I have blurred out a couple of times here in this video, you guys stay charged, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. See you then, bye bye. I have forgotten to take the thumbnail, so, alright.